about a year ago, I did a part one of ranking the classic horror movies, and I lost the tier list, so here's a new one. They're all basically the same. We got a bunch of them. Watch the last or the video from a year ago if you want to see more in depth of all these movies. Yeah, but now we got a new selection. Yay! We got Poltergeist, Child's Play, Cabin in the Woods, The Ring, The Exorcist, Final Destination, Dawn of the Dead, Insidious, Night of the Living Dead, Drag Me to Hell, and Saw. Yeah, these are pretty strange selection, but yeah, I wanted to add more movies, but I ran out of time, and yeah, we're gonna go through them from the one I saw first to the one that I literally just saw, which is Saw, which I saw like about 5 minutes ago. So yeah, I wrote like a paragraph for each. So yeah, it's not too detailed. So I hopefully I'll remember each movie. I watched all of these basically one per day. So I kind of got fatigued at some point. I'll let you know when. But yeah. With that being said, let's start off with Poltergeist. Um, yeah, this was the first one, and it actually had a lot of charm in the beginning, and I'm not sure if it was intentionally funny, but it was pretty funny to me at times. Uh, it had like one or two good horror scenes, like a good like scares, but other than that, it wasn't really scary. But yeah, the highlight of this was absolutely the ending. The ending was crazy. It was so chaotic, and I loved every second of it. Um, but it wasn't really scary. So I'll give it 6.5. Yeah, above Halloween, I'd say. Let's see. Yeah, above Halloween. Next up, Child's Play. Um, I am pretty sure I actually had a fear of Chucky as a child, and I don't remember ever seeing any of the movies. So yeah, I don't know. Um, Also another funny movie, but this time it was. I'm pretty sure it was definitely not intentional because I found a lot of the comedy was because of the bad acting in it. It was it was not good. It was like so not good that it was funny and that made it good. Um, what else? A lot of questionable decisions. Okay. So a lot of the selections for this time around, they had some very weird character decisions. Like I know the whole like oh horror movie characters make the worst decisions is like a dead meme by now, but like wow, man, all some of these characters for some of these movies are like they're brain dead. I don't know, it's just something about like a group of people getting out fought by a literal doll is so funny to me. Yeah, 6 out of 10. There's not much I can say with this. Was just it was entertaining, but not too scary. Next up, Cabin in the Woods. This one was like actually pretty good. I love the meta concept of it. Um, the dialogue at times is meh, kind of meh. Like the script, I'm not I'm not too fond of. Oh yeah, another thing with a lot of these is that the ending for all, like the ending for like most of these are actually like really good. Uh, this one included. I'll say it's a 8 out of 10. Like the ending was pretty good. Um, I feel like it went a bit too bonkers, but I still really liked it. And also, it had a few like decent scares, which by that point, having watched Poltergeist and Child's Play back to back, I kind of wanted something scary. Um, but yeah, all these are not really that scary as of now. So yeah. Next up, The Ring, another movie that the dialogue was kind of bad. I I like the premise, and also the last scene is so iconic. I actually misremembered that scene. I thought the scene was like in the dark or like in a dark room, but no, like the scene where with like the girl crawling out of the TV was actually like in plain daylight. That was the weird to me. Um, what else did I write? Good twist ending, cool premise, but the bad acting kind of holds it back. Um, is it better than the birds? I think so. Is it better than Scream? I'll put it there for now. Next up, The Exorcist. Okay, so until now, I had watched Poltergeist, Child's Play, Cabin in the Woods, The Rain. Some of these were like pretty entertaining and fascinating, but in terms of being personally scary to me, none of these really hit. So at this point, I'm like, man, these horror movies ain't really scary. And then I watched The Exorcist, and oh boy, was this what I was missing? This was it. This was insane. I don't know where I'm gonna put this. I think it's a 9 out of 10. It was genuinely scary. Some of the scenes were genuinely scary, and I I think it was made in 1970. I could be wrong, but man, having those types of like scares, like when when the girl is getting possessed in the bed and like the bed shakes and then she like starts like spazzing out, that was generally scary. And the whole I don't know, to me, hospital scenes or like especially when they insert stuff in your nose, I hate that scene. I could not watch that scene. There were other scenes that I really liked. Oh, the neck twist, like when her neck or her head did like a 180. That was nice. Uh, it was also really gross at times. Disgusting movie. Well, it was actually scary. Um, oh, another the most underrated part of The Exorcist, I think, is the dialogue, the script writing in this movie is so good. There's a scene with like the grandmother, or no, the mother of the priest guy, like right in the beginning, that had such tight dialogue that in like 2 3 words it tells you so much about their relationship and their dynamic with each other. It's so well done. The beginning is so well done, and then the middle is like super scary. It gives you like the pacing with the beginning and the middle is perfect. The only downside to this movie, I think, was because the beginning and the middle was so good, it made the ending feel kind of underwhelming, even though by itself the ending was actually decent. It was good. It was a good ending, but compared to the beginning and the middle of this movie, it felt really underwhelming, and that's why I can't give it a 10 out of 10. Because how do you follow up the masterfully done exposition and introduction of characters, and then with some of the most iconic horror scenes ever in the middle, and then there's like really not that much at the end. I thought it would ramp up a bit more. So yeah, 9 out of 10. Great movie, amazing. Next up, Final Destination, the first movie. I love Final Destination. Final Destination is my go-to. I loved it. It freaked me out as a kid. The whole concept of it freaked me out, and because just with the concept alone of like just random things trying to kill you, just random objects trying to kill you, it freaked me out so much that I have to give this extra points just for that. Unfortunately, I do not think this movie holds up all that well. The acting is, in terms of like the whole series, it is on the better end, but overall, I think a lot of the character decisions and some of the logic just it's so mind-bogglingly like, stupid. It's so stupid. It's a decent movie. Uh, I didn't really like it as much as like 2 or 3, but just because of the concept alone and how what the first movie started, like the whole it started the whole series, I have to give it like at least a 7. Uh, is it better than The Ring? I think I enjoyed it more than The Ring. Is it better than Scream? Ooh. See, the concept is so good. Like I have to. Yeah, it's better than Scream. I think. Next up, Dawn of the Dead. See, this one's tough because I don't want to seem like the type that doesn't like the old ones, like the true classics. But seeing like watching them now, they don't hold up all that. To be fair, there are like 1 or 2 generally good scenes in this movie, but other than that, I don't think this movie holds up all that well. It is pretty dated, but I could see it back then. If I were to see this back then, it would probably be somewhat frightening. Especially like the beginning of this movie was so weird. It was insane. But yeah, I do like it more than Friday the. Oh wow, I can't say that. Friday the 13th. There we go. Insidious. Um, good first half. I'm pretty sure I've seen Insidious before, but I just didn't remember the fact that I saw it. It I don't really have much notes on this one. It feels like a prime example of a 7 out of 10. Like it's just decent all around. There's like nothing that's super amazing about it, but there's nothing that's like really horrible. I do like the end, the old lady taking the picture of the guy and seeing that the what is it called, like the old lady demon spirit thing possessing him through the pictures. Like it's actually really cool. But yeah, middle of the pack. I do think it's a bit better than The Ring. I think. Next up, Night of the Living Dead. Okay, so I feel like I'm being a bit unfair on this one because this is where I start to get fatigued. Because I was watching all of these, like one each day, and I ran out of days because there are some. Um, the ending was a bit surprising. The fact that like basically everyone of the main cast dies. Like like the ending scene with like the I think army police just shooting him was like I did not see that coming at all, and I think that bumps it up tiny bit. 5 out of 10. It was it's probably it has like some of the most boring parts to me, but it has some it has better parts than like Dawn of the Dead. Next up, Drag Me to Hell. Another cool premise. Some good scares. This had like a bunch of like jump scares, which I'm not the biggest fan of jump scares, but what can you do? They were decent. Yeah, there's not really much to talk about. Oh yeah, there's some scenes that were disgusting, especially with like the old like, seer lady. Not the seer, the the lady that cursed her. Oh, she was disgusting. But other than that, the main star of the show is the ending of this. If you see two videos on this, it's basically like just talking about the ending. The ending of this was in such an obvious twist, but they still pull it off really well. Although, oh my god, was it so preventable? And it really annoys me that such a good ending kind of is dumbed down because it was so preventable. All she needed to do was to open the envelope and check if the button was still there, and she never did it. It's annoying. Another dumb character's decision. Actually, I'll put it to bottom of 7 out of 10. Yeah. And then Saw, last one. Saw. Oh man, do I have a history with this franchise? Um, this is probably like the first time I remember watching a movie and actually being really scared. Um, I went to one of my friends' house, and this feels like a fever dream because like the scenario was really weird. I walked into, I think it was his mom's room, and he was there with his mom watching the TV, and the mom was like, "Hey, you probably shouldn't watch this," even though her son was the same age as me, and they were just casually watching the opening to, I believe it's Saw 2 or 3, the one with like the guy trying to gouge out his eye. It was that scene, and I stayed for that whole scene. I have never ever forgotten about it to this day. It was that traumatizing. But yeah, Saw over the years I have grown to appreciate a lot. Um, I never actually saw the first movie until now. Yeah, I think the first movie might be the best one in the whole series, and that's saying a lot because I really enjoyed Saw 10. Um, there's so much I could say about this movie. Literally one of the most iconic premises. Everything about this movie feels so iconic. Like so many scenes are insane. Like the editing style, while it is a bit weird, kind of corny at times, it does give a lot of flavor to it. The underlying story with like the investigation stuff is pretty. I thought it would be a lot worse than it was. I thought it was pretty. It wasn't like the best, just in terms of story wise, but it wasn't bad by any stretch of the imagination. Of course, the main attractions are the traps and how the people die. A lot of them are amazing. Some of the traps are just unfair though, and that that kind of just made me laugh at times. It's like the what is it called? Like the one with the numbers on the wall. and then the guy covered in like flammable gel. That was just legit impossible. How was he supposed to get out of that trunk? Um, yeah. The reverse bear trap is in this movie. It's literally so iconic. The best scene of this movie, and probably one of the best scenes in horror in general. The last scene of Saw. Oh yeah, okay. Before I get to that, amazing performances. I did think like the first 5 minutes, I thought the performances were a bit off, especially by the actor that plays but after those 5 minutes, by the end of the movie, when he saws off his leg, oh my god, I was sold. I was sold on both of them. I forget what the other guy's called. Adam. By the end, like the ending scene, Adam sold me so much. It was like the performances were outstanding. The ending scene, it was amazing. Like the twist isn't like too hard to predict, but that doesn't really take away from it being so perfectly done. It's so amazing. The fact that like the guy that's just there in the middle, just quote unquote dead for the whole movie, just stands up while Sep's theme is playing. It's so good, and the just like Adam realizing how he got played, it's so good. And then that game over, the way he says game over at the end, perfection, perfection, man. And then how Adam screams while the credits roll, absolute perfection, man. That whole scene is shot amazingly. The cinematography of the ending, amazing. The performance of the ending, amazing. It's so iconic, and it might be one of my favorite scenes, if not my favorite scene, if in all of horror. Even though it's not even all that scary. It's just it's the performance of it. It's so good. Yeah, this is. I didn't think I would like this movie as much as I thought I would, because Saw is seen as like this torture porn type thing, but I actually thought it was really, really good. Um, Aside from like some nitpicks that I had with some of the traps being just totally unfair, and the very obvious meme of cutting the rusted pipe instead of the chains or the leg being really obvious. Aside from those two things, I think this movie is amazing. But yeah, um, a solid 9 out of 10, and I think I'm pretty sure that's it. This is my list. Uh, we still don't have a second 10 out of 10. The Blair Witch Project still remains as the best horror movie for me. I'll probably keep doing more classics. And by the way, my only rule for classic, well, there's two rules for classic. It has to be well known, and it has to have 10 years under its belt. Yeah. Um, I think that's about it.